Well, been 2 weeks. Finally got her back from the machine shop. All bored out, cleaned up. About to get ready to put this thing back together. Wound up boring 60 over. The pistons we had to work. Got the pistons over here all cleaned up. Got one more to throw the rings on. I'm gonna put the crank in the block and go from there.
Well, a lot of y'all need to be doing at home. There's two right here. Let me talk about that though.
Yeah, built 350 here a while back and didn't replace the freeze plug, and that was the biggest mistake. So on this, that's where we chose to start. Always replace freeze plug. That will bite you in the butt later.
This is why. Looked good from the top. That's why you need doctor checkups, you know, so you see what's going inside on the inside.
You're smart. Just reinstall them with brass. Got the crank in, then the torque down. I'm torque at 50, and it torques at 100, or anywhere from 95 to 105, and you're finished. And on the last video, I said that we was trying to build this thing for under $1,000, and we succeeded. We came in right about $650. We had $100 in the heads, and the cam, main bearings, rod bearings, cam bearings. Cost us right at $450, and the lifters were in there too. And then we had $80 in the gasket set. So we're right at about $680. I'm getting ready to start throwing the rods and pistons in this thing. And I was just gonna tell you something. A lot of people didn't know or don't know. I never knew. I learned this from the street racing channel. But when you're installing a set of rods, there's a beveled edge on this rod. Beveled, tapered, rounded. And that's the side that runs up against the crank, because the other side is flat. And it runs on the journal up against the other rod. I've put engines together and I've never noticed and I've never paid attention. So after I seen him building the engine, he explained it and taught me something. We're gonna get these thrown in here, torque down, so we can move on. And for you that haven't ever assembled an engine, what we like to do is we coat these rings before we put it in with a little bit of engine oil, and then we put a little coating on the inside of the cylinder of engine oil. Then we get our ring compressor and slap it on there and compress the rings down. And when you go to tap this in the cylinder, use the butt end of your hammer. Do not use your hammer. Or a lot of guys probably have them poly hammers or rubber hammer. Well, got the rotating assembly fully assembled. Torquing the rod caps right now, 40 foot-pounds. After we get them torqued, turn this puppy over and slap the cam in it, timing chain, and get the timing chain cover on. And then we'll decide where we want to go from there. Feel good?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw this cam in. This is an Engine Pro Stage 3 cam. It's got similar specs to the Comp Cam 262 XE, but it has a little more overall lift. The 262 is what we had in here. We didn't run it very long. We had lifter failure on it. And it didn't wipe the lobes off the cam, just the lifters collapsed. And we decided just to go with this Engine Pro this time, because like I said, the specs are the same, but the cams are half the price, if not a little less. And we're going to use 1/8 rockers, 1/8 rocker ratio on this build. So that's going to give us a little bit more lift with this cam than what we had with the Comp Cam. Once he gets his cam in there, we can get the retaining plate on and torque down. And then we got a double roller timing chain that we had already had on this motor before that we're just going to slap back on. It ain't got any miles on it. We're just going to clean it up and slap it back in. Or should I say on? About to throw this timing chain on, and on this timing chain they got it to where you can install it straight up, 4 degrees advanced or 4 degrees retarded. We usually put them 4 degrees advanced just to give you a little more torque in low end. Everybody says they run a lot better in the street, but the compression that we're going to be running on this motor, and we're still trying to run pump gas, we kind of decided it was going to be a bad idea to advance this one. So we're just going to install it straight up. And we probably should go ahead and retard it 4 degrees so it would have a better chance of not detonating. But we're just going to do it straight up. I'm going to get the fuel pump extension on here, get that torqued down, and then we're going to throw the timing chain cover on. Got to worrying about detonation with the compression ratio we're going to have and the crappy gas you can get today. So we went in here and smoothed out all these edges and polished these combustion chambers, because they say that really helps get rid of your detonation. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can still run pump gas, because the best pump gas we can get around where we live is 90, 91 octane. Trying to get the heads thrown on now. Got this one done, thrown on. Got the timing chain cover on. Get this other head on, get them torqued down, get the lifters in it. Hopefully get some rockers on it, push rods in it. Get her painted. Get her flipped back around, get the oil pan put back on. we are, getting the heads torqued down, going in sequence. These heads torqued to 140, 140 foot-pounds. It's a little aggressive and excessive, but that's what they call for. Oh, there she is, all said and done. We wound up breaking the bank, breaking our budget. We're gonna have to wind up getting some longer push rods. The heads that we were running before were D3s, and they have non-adjustable rockers, and the push rods are shorter. So we gotta get longer push rods. So we're gonna be a little over budget, but we wound up spending $450 at the machine shop for the main bearings, rod bearings, cam bearings, and the rings, and the machine work. And then we had to buy oil pan because ours was trash. Gasket set was how much? 60 bucks. So we were just a little under 1,000, and now we're going to be a little over with the push rod issue. We wound up having to buy a new oil pump. That was 50 bucks. Like I say, he splurged on a beautiful chrome oil pan, but it's a piece of crap. It don't fit. It was like 70 bucks, maybe even 60 bucks. But the old oil pan was beat all to hell, so. But all in all, she came out good. Stay tuned if you want to hear it. First fire.